Hello everyone, this is Puji Lenistan and welcome to the Boosting Psychological Wellbeing course. I'm a research assistant in Psychology Department of Altınbaş University, which is located in Istanbul, Turkey. And today, in this chapter, we will discover our relationship with ourselves and from different perspectives. One of the most important determinants of psychological well-being is one's feelings and thoughts about himself. The nature of this sensitive relationships also determines one's relationship with the outer world and the other people and the environment. So firstly, we will talk about feelings and question how we are aware of our emotions. And then we will talk about how exploring and developing our strengths affects psychological well-being, the impact of negative thoughts on our well-being is obvious, as well as emotions. We will talk about revealing unrealistic beliefs and thoughts about ourselves and events, and replacing them with realistic ones by following our thoughts about events. Among the feelings we feel towards ourselves, self-compassion and self-confidence are closely related to our psychological health. We will mention the individual's behaviors and judgments towards himself, his capacity to accept his emotions, his mistakes, his ability to trust himself, and his abilities. And finally, we will talk about slowing down in the daily life and staying on your own by getting away from the daily events. We will meet mindfulness, which aims to observe our feelings and thoughts without judging and by managing our attention naturally and gently. We can all forget to think about ourselves by getting caught up in the flow of the events in daily life. However, our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship that forms the basis of all our other relationships. It is important for our psychological health to stop and listen to ourselves in daily life. Emotional acceptance is being aware of your emotions and accepting them for what they are right now, and knowing that they won't last forever. As people, generally we tend to pay more attention and accept events that make us feel good than the ones make us feel uncomfortable. This perspective can prevent us from perceiving and processing things in an integrated way. However, positive and negative emotions are intertwined. So, we would like to feel positive emotions, again, by remembering about an event that we feel very happy about, like a moment when we are praised by someone we love. However, we avoid thinking about situations where we feel bad and inadequate compared to others. We try to suppress our negative emotions and move them away from our minds. For example, we strongly avoid from rethinking a moment in which we feel humiliated or embarrassed. However, it is not possible to get rid of these negative emotions by suppressing them and ignoring them. On the contrary, suppressing all these emotions can return to us as some psychological symptoms later. Accepting that we can experience things that we feel bad, like every person. Sometimes we feel bad for no reason. Will give us a relief. Instead of suppressing our negative feelings, thinking about their sources and accepting them will enable us to get to know ourselves better. 2, we can better understand ourselves and our needs and have the opportunity to take many steps to support our psychological well-being. The better you know yourself, the better your chance of turning towards the right strategies to succeed both in academic and professional life. In order for your strengths to make your life easier and to get closer to your goals, you first need to realize that what these are, your strengths. Awareness of your strength is as important as improve your weaknesses. Strengths of each person are different from each other, and it is impossible for anyone else but you, to know our aspects that we can use to support ourselves and support our psychological health. It will be effective to get support from these strengths while organizing in our daily life, career, our relationships. For example, some people think that their listening skills are strong and they prefer professionalities such as consultants or psychologists where they can use this ability. So there are professional methods that you can use to determine your strengths, as well as self-employed methods too. To understand your skills, effort must be appreciated. We can identify the activities we like to participate by noting the things we do in the life, and it will also help to think about the values we care about, and we are in line with these values. Finding people to ask questions and getting feedbacks from them is also effective for doing reflective self-exercise. It is also important to list our desires, to determine the activities we are happy to take part in, to participate in similar areas. Determining our strengths allows us to make more feasible plans to achieve our goals. It supports our psychological well-being by helping us to get to know ourselves better. Another important issue is identifying the circle of negative thoughts. You can see in the picture that I put in the slides. So our automatic thoughts are our mental processes that occur without a deliberate judgment and negatively affect our emotions and behavior. We often are not aware of our entire flow of our thoughts. Thousands of thoughts pass through our minds during the day, and most of them are automated. Therefore, it is very difficult to recognize and change automatic thoughts. However, when we begin to track down our thoughts, we can see that we have many negative automatic thoughts. These thoughts are based on our fear and anxiety and are often irrational. One way to recognize these negative thoughts is to learn how negative thoughts work. For example, overgeneralization, mind reading, self-doubt, and self-blame, shoulds, overestimating the power of change are some of the examples of automatic thoughts. Or in overgeneralization. For example, you pursue general negative things through a simple event. For example, I failed this competition. I will not be able to win any competition from now on. It is overgeneralizing. Another one, personalization. In personalization, you attribute negative events to yourself to a large extent, and you do not see others causing certain events. For example, you take full responsibility for the cause of the conflict in a joint dispute. So, Of course, you can have some responsibilities in this conflict, but you are not having this conflict just with yourself. There is another one, and the another one should have some responsibilities too. Recognizing our negative thoughts give us a chance to change them. The way to do this is to follow our thoughts when we feel bad, to reach their sources and examine whether they have logical foundations. Being aware of these thoughts and replacing them with logical ones have positive effects on our emotions and behaviors, so on our psychological well-being. Self-compassion means to be kind and understanding when confronted with personal failings. It involves responding in a sportive and understanding manner when you have a hard time, when you notice something you don't like about yourself. We can talk about 3 criteria of being able to give yourself self-compassion. First, to show kindness to yourself or to avoid harsh criticism about yourself. Second one is recognizing one's own humanity, or the fact that all people are imperfect and all people are suffering with you. And third one is to develop the ability to make non-judgmental observations with the awareness experiences, despite of how difficult and cruel the situation may be, is the development of the ability to make extrajudicial observations. Self-confidence is an individual's trust in his or her own abilities, capacities, and judgments, or belief that he or she can successfully face daily challenges and demands. Lack of self-confidence can cause you not able to set boundaries into your relationships, experience difficulties in social environments, and feel worthless and inadequate. It is important to pay attention to self-compassion and to be aware of negative thoughts, to set goals, and to work on social relations in order to develop a sense of self-confidence. A healthy self-confidence supports one's psychological health by enabling a person to develop a realistic sense of self. Both self-compassion and self-confidence are important steps in self-knowledge and a better self-relationship. It is important to slow down and focus on ourselves in daily life to protect our psychological health. Mindfulness is a non-judgmental, receptive mind state in which one observes thoughts and feelings as they are without trying to express or deny them. It is the ability to manage our attention naturally and gently, and it means being aware of our breath, body, feelings, emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in daily life, and being able to observe them gently without judgment. Mindfulness is not a relaxation or affirmation technique. It is also not to think about anything. The aim here is to re-establish an increasingly weakened mind-body connection in the modern world and strengthen the silent communication our body establishes with us. An important part of mindfulness exercises are also done on emotions. As the mindfulness strengthens our skill, it helps us find the time to manage the situation without driving by emotions. As our mindfulness skills improves, it becomes easier to see habits that do not benefit us and the world and the triggers that reminds of them. Our mind loves to navigate in future and the past, mindfulness makes it easy to focus on the present. The skill is also supports our level of happiness and therefore our quality of life. And practicing mindfulness can change emotional patterns and bring in a new perspective. Formal and informal exercises are available to experience mindfulness. As you can try these exercises at home on your own, collaborative exercises such as yoga classes are also an option. So, in this chapter, we focused on the relationship we established with ourselves. In the next chapter, we will examine the relationship we have with the outer world and other individuals. We will talk about the effects of our social relationships and sharings with other people on our psychological well-being. And we will take a look at what it takes to establish and maintain these relationships in a healthy way. People need limits to feel safe, so boundaries are very important for every relationship. We will talk about setting and protecting these boundaries. And then another one, it is important to share responsibility in our relations with the outside world and to be aware of the obstacles beyond our control. We will discuss the external barriers that cause adverse events. Next, we will talk about difficult times we have gone through. Pandemic, we are still living in that time, and what we can do to protect our psychological health in this process. It is very important. And the last one, we will question the nature of socialization interactions in social media that we all use extensively and their effects on our psychological health. So, thank you for participating, and I will see you in the next video.